Hi, I'm Gabby. This is my dog Oakley. I'm using my phone because my camera died and I don't know where the charger is. Today I'm going to be talking about how to make your dog a service dog and the difference between ESAs, therapy animals, service animals, you know, the whole deal. So first, you can't see Oakley's face, but he won't lay down, so we're just going to look at that chest. Oh, happy June. Wait. Happy June. I got it from Target. So basically, to make your dog a service dog, you just add water. Actually, really, I'm all that makes a service dog is the dog's training and the fact that the handler is disabled. So you can't train a dog to have tasks if you're not disabled. It's not a service dog. It's just a really well-trained dog. And likewise, he wants me to scratch his chin. Likewise, if you are disabled, you can't just bring your untrained pet places because you're disabled and be like, it's my service dog. There's his face. The dog needs to be trained, needs to be task trained, and the handler needs to have a disability. A disability is defined as something that limits one or more major life functions, such as walking, showering, eating, just basic things that seem like they should be. Oakley's over here. You can see his leash. Oh, there's a foot. Get out of here. Get Oakley. Come here. That seem like they should be really easy to do, but are not. Get over here. A service dog usually goes through about 2 years. About 2 years of training. They have to. I mentioned this in my previous video, but they have to have perfect obedience, they have to obviously be potty trained, and they have to know one or more trained tasks. So, for example, something like an alert to a behavioral response. Like, when I scratch my wrists, Oakley paws at my leg, and he's like, dude, stop. Yeah, and if I keep going, then he gets pissed. He'll jump on me, and if I don't stop, then he'll do a little woof. Hi, boo. Something that is not a trained task is, for example, a natural alert. So like a seizure alert. Well, the dog can smell that, but that's not something that you have to train. So if you didn't train your dog to alert, then it does not count as a task and he needs to do something else to be considered a service dog. And say it with me, kids, emotional support is not a task. It specifically is said in the ADA that it is not a task. So don't bring your dog in public, no matter how well trained it is, just because it makes you feel happy. Yes, service dogs do provide emotional support, but that's not why I have him. He is not an emotional support animal. He is a service dog in training. Emotional support animals have absolutely no rights in public. They can't go in restaurants, they can't go in diners, they can't go in malls, they can't go in movie theaters, they can't go anywhere in public because they are not service animals. An emotional support animal is a bug on your face. Does not have to be trained. Does not have to be well behaved. And does not even have to be a dog. It could be a fish if you really want. The only rights that emotional support animals have is no pet housing as long as it falls under the FHA and airplanes. That's it. Don't buy your ESA a vest and be like, hey, I'm gonna bring my dog in public because he's an ESA. No, that's illegal. Because even if you don't call it a service dog, you are impersonating a service dog, and I think in quite a few states, that's illegal and can result in a fine or something. I don't know. No, don't leave. No, where are you going? That's the second half of this video, but I just did a little brief. Okay, so I'll go into that later in more detail. Leave it. So where was I? Oh yeah. So, oh my god, he's so cute right now. I wish I could show you, but I can't reach the camera. Yeah. So you have to train your dog. You can get a program dog. You can owner train. What we're doing is owner training, but with the help, but with the help of a trainer and a program. What's up? He's getting temperament tested by the program soon to see if we should continue his training. Yeah, so he hasn't started with the program yet, but we're going to. Next. Yeah, so that's how you make your dog a service dog. You have to train your dog. You have to be disabled. You can't just have one without the other. Why are you sitting there? It's really, really nice out today, so he's just sitting there smelling the air. He's happy. Yeah, so now I'm going to get into ESAs versus therapy animals versus service dogs. So to start, therapy animals. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm like pretty sure that it could be any animal. A dog, a bunny, a cat, a horse, They're very often dogs just because, people love dogs. Yeah. So a therapy animal is not for someone who's disabled. And a therapy animal has no rights in public unless it's a place they're invited to. It's a bug on my foot. For example, a nursing home or a hospital or a school. So if the school is like, hey, bring your therapy dog, let's do a session, then you can bring your therapy dog. On that one occasion, you can't just keep bringing it back because you were invited once. Therapy dogs do need to be trained. They need to be well behaved. They need to, what do they need to do? They need to basically just sit there and let the patients just pet them, interact with them. It's helpful. And they do animal assisted therapy is what it's called. Yeah, so therapy dogs are not protected under the ADA because, like I said, the ADA is Americans with Disabilities Act. That is the act that protects service dogs and reasonable accommodations. I'm gonna sneeze. Ouch. I'm okay. Every time I sneeze, he has to check on me. Oh, that hurt. Okay. So, ADA is the act that protects Americans with disabilities and our accommodations, such as service dogs. So yeah, therapy animals, because they're not for a disabled handler, they are not protected. They don't have, rights like ESAs and the service dogs do. And really, do not bring your therapy dog, to the mall so other people can be like, oh my god, I'm depressed, so let me pet your therapy dog. That's not how it works. Your therapy dog is not allowed in public. I have seen so many videos of people with dogs, misbehaving dogs in public, and they're like, it's my therapy dog, you can't kick me out. No. Because, yeah, another big difference is that therapy dogs are for more than one person. Oh my god, he's so cute. Service dogs and ESAs are for one person. That's it. You can't have a service dog for 3 different people. It just, no. So, therapy dogs are trained to assist people other than the handler. Yeah, that's basically it. I would talk about certification for therapy dogs, but I've gotten mixed things. I've read they do need to be. I've read they don't. I know the AKC has a therapy dog title, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on anything I say. Next is emotional support animals, or ESAs. So I mentioned earlier, emotional support is not a task. Do not bring your emotional support dog in public unless you are on an airplane. Okay. Yeah. So, emotional support animals, basically all they do is their presence alone provides comfort to the handler. And yes, that is very, very helpful. And I'm not belittling emotional support animals in any way, but I am belittling handlers who bring them in public against the law. Like someone I know, actually. Anyone who's talked to me before knows exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, they don't need training. It's very nice if you train it. If you're at an airport, because they're allowed in airports, and you're walking around with your, hold on. I'm okay. And you're walking around with your ESA, but it's jumping on everyone, it's barking, it's peeing on the floor. That's just, no, please, you could do basic obedience if you're gonna bring your dog anywhere. I honestly would be embarrassed to bring a misbehaved dog anywhere. I'll bring him in public, he'll sniff one thing, I'll be like, oh my god, it's the end of the world, we have to go home. Obviously we don't go home, but I could never bring a misbehaved animal. Anyway, so yeah, an ESA can be literally any animal as long as they're legal in your state. So I've seen stories about an emotional support peacock. That's a thing. You can do that as long as it's legal to own a peacock. Oh my god, are you stretching? Oh my god, you falling? What are you doing? You're gonna fall. Oh, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. He's like, what? To qualify for an ESA, you must be disabled. You can't just be anxious and not debilitated by it. And there's no certification. Do not go online and be like, how do I certify my ESA? And then click the first link that comes up and pay $70 to get a stupid vest and a piece of paper that means absolutely nothing. You go to your psychiatrist, your therapist, whoever, and you're like, yo, ESA. And they're like, yo. And they'll tell you whether or not they think you need one. It's kind of like prescribing medication. They write a note. So for me, it would be like, this is Gabby's ESA. It's a dog. His name is whatever. This is a note saying she needs him, and like you would show that, like when you go to the airport, you bring it. I think I've never flown with an ESA because I don't have one. When you're living in an apartment, a dorm, whatever, you'd be like, yo, here's my paper, my fancy paper, so I can have my animal. Yeah. No certification. Do not certify your animals online, ever. It's stupid. It's fake. It's a scam. And lastly, service dogs. So service dogs obviously have the most rights. They are not pets. They are medical equipment. So that is why they're allowed everywhere, except for places that are like sterile, places of public food preparation, and actually religious places like temples, churches are allowed to deny a service dog access because they are not public places technically. So if your church, what the fuck is that? So if your church or whatever is like, you can't bring that dog in here, you can't get mad. They're allowed to do that. Most places that I know of are pretty good about it, and like I don't know anyone who's had an access issue with their local religious building. I'm Jewish, so I haven't yet brought Oakley to temple, just because I don't really go ever. So I don't know. But yes, service dogs only have rights when they are with the handler they are trained for. Your mother, for example, cannot take your service dog to the store and be like, oh, he's a service dog. No, you have to be there with your service dog. So like, let's say my mom wants to, she wouldn't, but let's say my mom wants to go shopping with Oakley. She can't. Unless I'm with her, she can't, because that's against the law, because without the handler, this dog is just a dog, not medical equipment. Service dogs can fly on planes for free, they can live in housing, whatever, and they, like I said, go restaurants, malls, banks, movies, stores, supermarkets, everywhere. Literally, like, public places. So, like I said earlier, they need tasks, and they need training, and they need a disabled handler. That's it. Service dogs are protected under the ADA, which is where they get their rights. But the ADA does state that if your dog is not behaving, if it's not potty trained, if it's creating a disturbance, that the business owner is allowed to say your dog needs to leave. They are not allowed to say your dog needs to leave and you can't come back. They can say, put your dog outside and you alone can come back into the store. That is what they're allowed to do, but they're not allowed to kick out the handler as well. So let's say Oakley pees on the floor, they're allowed to be like, get that dog out of here. But after you get rid of the dog, then you can come back and finish your shopping. They are not allowed to say, get that dog out of here and don't come back. Like, why did I have to say it twice? Who knows? Maybe someone needed it to be said twice. So yeah, even if the service dog is legitimate, if it's fake, whatever, as long as the dog is misbehaving, they are allowed to be asked to leave. Now, I'm going to get into this just because businesses can ask two questions. They can ask, is that a service dog, and what tasks does he provide? They cannot ask what your disability is. That is not legal because it's invasive and it's unfair for you to have to tell everyone. Like, I'm not going to tell everyone that I'm open. So some people, maybe they have like PTSD and they don't want to tell people, or even just like with illnesses, like they don't need to tell everyone what's wrong with them. They can just say, this is my service dog and he does medical alert, for example. Yeah, so those are the only two questions businesses are allowed to ask. They're not allowed to ask for ID. They're not allowed to ask for your disability. Stop eating things. Leave it. They're not allowed to ask for your ID. They're not allowed to ask for your disability, a doctor's note, shots, whatever. They can't ask for any of that shit. I think that's it. There's hair in my mouth. Well, thanks for watching. If you liked, leave a like, subscribe, tell your friends. Give me and Oakley the validation that I crave. I hope this was educational and that you learned at least a thing. Peace out. Ugh.